waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these expectations. They keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa, and if I say it enough, it gets ingrained in my head, and I start to see, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a, yeah.
I'm on my own, broken and alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Just stare, 'cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me, that's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me, hold your hand while the pain was over, keep you warm by the roaring sea. You meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. My darling dear, you're never here. When I'm in pain, you hide and disappear like shadows in the atmosphere, charting the stratosphere. Yeah. I prayed for you and kept you near in hopes you'd chase away my fears. I'm on my own, you made it so, and now I'm chasing nightmares too. I used to run with you through the great big leaves, laugh at you when you laugh at me. Hope for us because I believe the home was just you and me. I thought you were the one for me, that's why I gave you everything.
And do you see you got me falling in more times than I can get out. Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, how long do I got to keep you, to keep you? Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, trying so hard not to keep you, to keep you. How long do I got to keep you, to keep you? Trying so hard not to keep you, to keep you.
Race. Alright, show name race. Yeah. So today we have five competitors.
Just now it was muted, sorry.
Oh.
okay.
Oh dear. Okay, I guess we're redoing
That's
that.
kind of lucky. We can redo. Okay, can.
Yeah, I want to make that.
Live ready, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another round of the National Championships for Virtual Cycling. I'm joined here with Mitch, right? And I'm Ryan, and we'll be your commentators for today. Alright, and today in our race we are looking at the Women's Elite, Senior and Masters category. So today we have 5 competitors. Alright, quite a small field, but nonetheless we're looking forward to some exciting racing. Alright, from Garcia Test Team we have Clara Patricia, we have Doreen Chu from Cycling Training CC, we have Christina and Janella both from Matador Racing, and we have a newcomer this series, Preeti Mohan.
What a pretty name. Yeah, so here we have the route now. Let me see the route. Yeah, so it's the Lucia route. It's the Innsbruck route. So they used this route actually in 2023 for an actual like men's race for the KOM for them. So it's an exact replica of that race. So it's about 10.7 kilometers long. So it's not even that long. It's just pretty short. But the main hitter here is the climb, which is the longest part of the section. And then we have a lead-in of about 3.2 km. So at 3.2 km, the KOM will start. Then between that time, they can just, some of them can either go ahead, but actually it doesn't really matter because now the thing that matters is the time that they take to climb the mountain. Yeah.
And they'll be doing 2 passes of the climb,
Yeah,
right?
2 passes,
So
exactly.
2 passes, each time they're climbing about 400 meters, so that's actually quite a lot of elevation, right? Just riding here in Singapore,
Yeah,
it's,
really, you don't
to
find
get
that.
just over 100 meters
Like-
is already a struggle unless you
what,
like
Mount
intentionally
Faber
go
is
find
like
Mount.
70 meters, I think.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
about
like
there.
100, yeah. So this
Yeah,
is
so
like
imagine
3
you're doing 3 or 4 times of Mount Faber continuously. Right? I
Yeah.
think it's definitely gonna be exciting.
Exactly.
Right, and if I'm not wrong, there are bonus seconds as well, right?
Yeah,
For
yeah.
them to reach the top, so that might spice things up if they go early, right? If they try to hit the climb early, even though they're only taking the time for the climb, yet nonetheless, if they do reach the top first, they might get some bonus
Exactly.
seconds that will
But then
help
again,
them.
even if you reach the top first, right, you don't want to blow up and then just suffer for the rest of the next phase of the climb. So you
True,
also
true.
gotta play your cards right, I think.
True, true.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be really exciting.
Correct.
Alright, we're about just over a minute away from the beginning, right? And you can probably see all the contestants starting to warm up. Right, let's see if we have camera feeds. Right, so here on Zwift. Yeah, so the race is on Zwift. And you can see the countdown there, just about under a minute to go before they begin.
So right now they should be putting up the cadence already, trying to get their legs as long as possible. And then they do it like got this mechanic. They're supposed to pedal like maybe 20 seconds in and then just try and get a few revolutions in before they start.
Yeah, because I think on Zwift, it's the power readings are not instantaneous
Mm,
either,
right,
right? There's a
yeah.
slight, very, very minute gap between putting on the power on the pedals, right, and the actual program reading your power. Right? And the key thing to watch here is the watts per kg, right? Especially on the hill climb, yeah, on the gradients, right, on the flats. I'm sure Zwift has some algorithm with height, weight,
Correct.
but we're still looking at the at more watts per kilos rather than looking for
overall power.
true draft.
Yeah. So now 5
Alright,
seconds
and
in,
we're
3.
getting ready for the
2,
start, and here
1.
we
It should be
go.
going off right now. So here we go.
Alright, and we're looking at a relatively conservative start here, right? Everyone's looking at about 2 to 3 watts per kilo.
Yeah,
That's-
usually you see people like, especially for men's open or like men's, they'll be going at like 7-11 watts per kilo. Tina leading the pack with Doreen right beside her. Yeah, they're just pushing out 2 watts per kilo, so it's
Oh dear, what's happening to the feed?
okay. Nice.
Alright, we are back. Alright, sorry for the technical difficulties, but here we're looking at Doreen and Christina heading the front with Clara, Patricia just right next to them, or in fact beside them. Right, no gap between the 3 of them, but they're taking it relatively easy, just under 3 watts a kilo.
Yep. Just a PCN ride.
Maybe
So-
slightly more than that,
Yeah, a bit
but
more than that. Yeah.
at least they're taking the lead in to really get the legs ready for the climb. Right, and then we have Janella just behind and Preeti, who's starting to get a little bit distance behind. But then again, we're not looking at first across the line, we're looking at the time up the climb.
So it's actually quite deceptive if you don't really know how the race actually works, the format. So maybe for her, she kind of knows. Maybe she's like, oh, I'm not gonna push. I'm gonna take it easy and then take my own time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think as Mitch said earlier, last thing you want to do is to gun it too hard
Yeah,
at
and
the
just
start,
blow up.
and then you blow up on the climb.
Exactly.
That said, I think there's a slight time for recovery in between the 2 climbs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
When they're taking the downhill.
It's like a long descent for them. So
yeah,
they
and
can
that's
just
it, they can stretch their legs a little,
Exactly, yeah.
just relax.
They
easy
literally get
pedal.
off the bike and actually stretch because we don't count the time for the descent. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're seeing kind of uneventful for now. As they take it easy on the flat. But we'll see when things spice up later on the climb. Alright, we'll see if we can get feed for the participants. Alright, I think they're sorting out a little bit of technical difficulties here and there as well. Yeah. Alright,
There we go.
here you can see our lovely faces.
All three of them.
Although I'm sure you guys are more interested in to see the race
Yeah,
itself
the
rather
race
than looking at us. Yeah. They're just about halfway through the
Yep.
lead-in, right?
Yeah, 1.6 in.
Yeah. And from the feed, you can see on the top right corner on the map, you can see the gradient that they're going through. You can see the wattage, and you know if they have, you can see if they have the heart rate monitors as well. What heart rate they're doing. Looking at Doreen's feed, we're looking at about 155.
That's pretty.
beats per
That's
minute.
zone 3 for her, I think.
Yes, I
Yeah.
guess they're starting to push it a little.
Yeah.
And Janella has caught up. Janella is up ahead, and now they're a group of 4.
Yeah.
Right? I guess they're all just pacing together. And there is still a little bit of drafting, is there?
There's definitely.
Yeah, so maybe that might affect how they want to race it as well. Because even on a climb, as long as I think you're above maybe 14, 15
correct. You
kilometers per
still get
hour.
the draft boost a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every watts count. So
Yeah, and saving their
see.
legs here in the lead-in might give them a slight edge as well.
exactly. Yeah. So wow, we rarely see them. We rarely see the races starting out with like people side by side like this. Usually some of them will be like guns out all the way. One at the front like doing a breakaway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like we said, you know, maybe it's down to the race type, or maybe it's
Yeah.
just a small field.
Yeah.
The last round when I did an elimination race with the men's
Yeah.
elite, wow, it was straight,
It's straight.
full sprint, full gas right at the
Just
start.
killing your legs.
You know, I'm not sure how it went yesterday for the men,
Yeah,
but
the men's was okay
I
yesterday,
think it
but
was
you see a
quite
big
eventful
split.
too,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, and we saw
exactly.
quite big gaps because I think people were really focusing on the climbs and not really riding together as a pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll see how it goes. Alright. And I think they're nearing the end of the lead-in, maybe just about half a kilometer more, slightly there. Right, you can see that they are taking it a little bit easy now. Yeah.
So do look out for the percentage numbers on the gradient because that's on this route, right? There are parts where it gets really steep, like about 10%, 11%. Then there'll be parts with 4%. So it's not a really constant gradient climb. There is like flat spots. So over there they can actually make do with like maybe some strategy they might have, or they'll just go all out if they want to.
Yeah. Right, we're looking at the feed and we're seeing if we can get
Oh,
some shots of
is the
the
outside.
participants inside. Right?
Yeah.
You know, some may joke that looks a little bit like a spin class if you didn't know what's going on, but
Right.
nonetheless, you see a full focus, right? And the full. You'll see once the racing gets underway, you'll see
Yeah.
all the game faces on.
You'll see a
Right,
different
you see
kind
some of them now just still taking it easy on the
still
lead-in.
smiling and then
Still
looking
smiling,
out.
but you can see that they're all getting ready to go for it.
Yeah.
Alright, and you can see they're starting a little bit on a slight climb here, right? Still on the lead-in, almost beginning the KOM.
Almost, yeah.
Right, and you can see actually the KOM segment is on the left of the screen,
Yeah.
right? Just 7.4 km with an average gradient of about 5.4, and that's actually quite a lot for
That is
maybe
quite a lot. For
people
such
say
a short climb, right?
yeah, people say
Yeah.
Singapore's flat.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
To find a 5.4%.
Is not that easy.
Yeah, it's
It's
not
only
that
a-
we don't have,
Yeah,
but to find one that's like
it's this
7
long.
kilometers long.
No.
Yeah. Alright, you can see that they're still getting together. Janella slightly starting to fall behind a little bit. Switch to Janella. Yeah,
Janella. Fourth. Yeah.
Yeah.
One more, yeah.
Slightly falling a little bit behind.
Yeah.
Just about 4 seconds gap. So maybe to her the bonus seconds aren't
Is
really
as
as
important,
important
right?
as much
Yeah.
as pacing herself up the
Yes.
climb to make sure that she doesn't blow up.
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
she does have knowledge of like Doreen, Janella, and Clara. Like they are the heavy hitters of the race. So I don't think she wants to blow up trying to chase them.
Mm.
Yeah, she just want to take her own pace, and I think staying consistent for her could be the way. Yeah.
Yeah, here on screen we're looking
Yeah,
at
Preeti
Preeti,
Mohan.
right? Who is
Yeah.
in fact her first time
Yeah, her
joining
first
the
time-
series,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. So I
So-
think Christina actually recommended her to join. Then yeah, she's just trying it out for the first time.
That's interesting,
Yeah.
right? And I guess that shows how accessible at least virtual
exactly.
cycling,
Yeah.
you know, even in competitive setting like this,
Anyone can join. It's really competition for everyone. Like there's no like yeah.
And it's a safe environment also. You're indoor, you don't have to worry about falling off the bike,
Yeah.
about bike handling skills. It's just putting power through the pedals. Of course, there's a bit of tactics going on here and there, but nonetheless, you know, it's still
The risk, there's no risk at all.
It's a
There's
good
little
entry
bit of risk,
point
but
for
yeah,
racing.
exactly. Like what was before the race was starting, one of them exclaimed like, "Oh, welcome to the safest race in Singapore." So like,
Yeah. Alright, now we're looking at them properly hitting up the climb, and we see we're looking at Christina's point of view.
Yeah.
Right, she's getting a slight gap between her and the lead two, Clara and
Clara and
Doreen.
Doreen, they're having a battle, but it seems like Clara's pulling away with almost 5 watts per kilo, and Doreen's trying to keep up. I think she doesn't
Yeah,
want
you
to
can
let the
see
gap.
4.5 to just about
Yeah.
4 watts per kilo. It's kind of, you can see their heart rate is really going high.
Yeah,
They're going
it's-
hard.
This
You know,
is zone
it's
4,
not-
5 for them already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are not holding back.
Yeah, no.
And not to forget, they're going twice up this climb,
Yeah,
right? It's not as
exactly.
if they're just doing it once and they can go full gas.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, there's recovery in between, but
Correct. But you
nonetheless.
just don't want to let the gap become too big, because it'll be too hard to chase. Once the first one out from the line, right, gets to the flat part, and then they go into descent, yeah, the gap is gonna get bigger and bigger if you
Yeah.
don't do anything about it. Yeah.
if you look at the speeds they're going, actually, right, drafting effect is still really
Still in
important.
effect. Yeah.
Right, you can see the meters climb slowly increasing, 65, 66, and they're hitting a 10% climb.
10%. So yeah.
This is what you expect on,
Yeah.
I guess, the
This is
steeper side of
yeah,
Faber,
this is a
right?
climb.
You know, so imagine some of us when we hit that, it's like, it's pain, but look,
pain.
they're doing it.
For like 7 kilometers. The one in Faber is about what? A few hundred meters?
Maybe less than
Less
that.
than that,
I think
right?
Faber, yeah, Faber alone is only about maybe 1 kilometer long,
Yeah.
and that's not even a constant gradient.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Look at Clara just going. She's
Yeah, but this is what
Just
we expected
motoring
from Clara. She's just she's QOM for everything in Singapore.
yeah, in fact, I think she is considered a
Yeah.
pure climber,
Yeah,
right?
in Faber there is a segment named after her, like Clara Loop. So because she's the one that holds the segment for it for
See,
like
that's
a
pretty
long,
cool,
long
that's
time.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right, but I guess and you can see the gap starting to open
Yeah,
up
it's
a
opening
little,
up
right?
already.
About 16 seconds to Doreen, and watch, and you see her just going right there, full laser focus, even with the camera in her face, and she's not
She's
deterred.
having that stoic face. No emotions, just poker face, game face, just
You know,
focusing on the road.
It may look quite easy, but
But
I tell you,
inside
it's
is
not.
they're suffering as well.
yeah, the legs just screaming at you to stop, just
Yeah.
telling you no, it's painful, but you're just pushing through. I think that's the amazing thing about cyclists, right? Like
yeah.
you,
To endure that much pain.
yeah,
like,
once
mentally
saw,
and physically.
yeah, once saw one video saying like, you know, most people when they see something
Yeah.
difficult, they just
Yeah.
want to turn away, but
Yeah.
you know, cyclists, maybe
But-
there's something wrong with us, but we see
Yeah.
we see a slope, we
There's-
see something
there's like a
difficult, and
screw
we're like,
loose.
it's not just we want to go, but we want to go
Yeah.
fast,
Exactly.
right?
Fast and far.
I guess that's where we get this kind of competition, this kind of
Mhm.
you know the intensity as well.
Exactly.
I can see her just powering up. Now we're looking at Christina's point of view, and you can see it's almost a lonely ride, but you can see just barely in the distance. You can see Doreen just
like a
ahead.
small speck of pixel, like you can see her right
Yeah.
ahead.
Now looking at Doreen,
again. Christina.
Christina just slowly going up.
Yeah, once the road straightens out, you should see Doreen right in front.
Yep.
There she is.
Here we're looking at Christina with her game face, just pacing herself, just going on and on. And I guess the interesting thing is later when we look at the Zwift feed, well, she doesn't have a heart rate monitor, at least it's not connected to Zwift, right?
yeah.
Maybe she has it on her own, but so you can't really see how
How hard she's pushing,
how
but
hard
we
she's
know
pushing.
she's pushing
Yeah.
really hard already.
definitely not easy to
Yeah.
do a climb like that, right?
Hey, can we take a look at Pretty, how she's doing? Does she have
Yeah.
like a heart rate monitor on her?
Yeah. Look at Pretty.
Pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look at Pretty.
Oh, she doesn't have a heart rate
Also no
monitor.
heart rate monitor, but she's soldiering on, right? You see her cadence still about 90.
Yeah, this
just,
is really good cadence actually.
yeah, it's
for
pretty
climb,
steady. You
right?
see her power output is still there, right? Not really,
She's
not
just
really
keeping
wavering
things
off.
constant. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is the way to go, especially for someone new. If they're able to do this for like a constant climb, right? That's a really good sign that they're capable.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can see her on screen now, just digging
just
deep,
head down.
just pushing through. Right? Back on the Zwift feed, and we're looking, and let's take a look at one of the other competitors. Right, look at Doreen.
again.
again, I guess on Zwift, right, what they see on the screens ahead of them, it's just a lonely ride. They're just pushing up the climb, but nonetheless, you know, they know that they're still fighting for something. They're still going for time, right? And maybe, you know, it's more of a mental challenge. In fact, when you're doing so-called a solo ride.
Exactly. It's kind of like you feel like you're in a solo ride, but you know there's other people around you. So like you kind of have to play with the emotions that, oh, I'm alone, but I still have to go strong, right? Because I'm going against other people as well.
Yeah, I guess that makes a very good segue to the next series that's coming up as well, right?
Exactly.
Individual time
ITT,
trial.
yeah.
Right? I mean, both now is time trial season. Out on the roads, you see
Yeah.
a lot of people in their TT bikes, but also the next series, right, for this national championships for virtual cycling is also the time trial.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where maybe it's hopefully a flatter course, but nonetheless,
maybe
it's
a
still the
flatter
same
course.
thing, right? Where they're digging deep, they're still pushing hard.
Yeah.
Right? Registration is open, so there's a quick
Yeah,
segue
so-
right there.
Make sure you sign up, okay?
Yeah, but nonetheless, we're looking at Janella, right, from Matador Racing, and you see she's just pushing through as well. Yeah, her heart rate is a little lower, about 140. Maybe she's pacing herself.
She could be doing what we also thought, that they're not going as hard in the first part, so maybe she'll go harder in the next part.
Yeah, and maybe saving it for the steeper ramps as well.
exactly.
You see it fluctuating about 6 to 8% here and there.
Or maybe
Right.
she just has a really low heart rate overall.
Maybe. Yeah, you see her watts per kilo is still about 3.5, about 3 there. You see that she's putting in the work off the saddle, just pushing down on the pedals as well. Yeah, I think especially when the gradients get tougher, right?
Especially
Because
when it
they will
gets
feel the resistance on the
Yeah.
bikes as well.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where they start to dig deep. They go off saddle, try to put on that little bit of power, use their body weight as leverage as well. So there's still a bit, you know, as much as we say that, you know, indoor cycling, virtual cycling, you may not have
It's
a lot of
like real life attributes, right?
yeah, you may not have a lot of,
Cycling.
may not necessarily require a lot of bike handling skills,
Yeah.
but nonetheless cycling technique is still
Technique
really
is still
important,
applied, yeah.
right?
Actually, even more so in this kind of like a setting, right? Because if you don't really have a good technique, you kind of suffer as well. You need
Yeah.
something to help you keep ahead of the rest. If you got good technique on a stationary bike, that means you can do really well actually.
Definitely. You look at Clara, still pushing out the watts, still pushing about 150 watts, 170 heart rate. She's still going strong, right? And like we mentioned, some parts of the climb is a little bit easier. Here, looking at a 2%. You know, we say it's easier, but
But no, it's not really that easy.
You know, out on the roads, especially in Singapore, you still feel it, right? Some of us we hit like flyovers, or like, oh
Exactly.
man. Yeah, but you see the speed increase, and this is where I guess the gaps start to open, especially now that, you know, with gaps between the riders, they can't really take advantage of that draft to kind of recover as well.
Because by the time you do recover, by the time you do catch up, you still need to recover, right? So that's another issue if you're trying to keep up with the one in front of you, whether you know they're tired or not, or if you can actually just go and overtake them. But then you're taking a risk by doing that as well. Yeah. So like now we have Doreen going at 4 per kilo. So
yeah,
I think
just
she's really
under
trying to
4,
chase down
about
Clara.
3.6,
Yeah.
3.7. Right.
You think Doreen should maybe team up with Christina and get the draft boost for each other, or is that a good move, or is that like a bit too risky to wait? Or maybe she'll just wait for Christina. to
Maybe if she waited on the downslope, I guess
Yeah.
at this point if she waits, she'll lose a lot of time on the climb because the climb is still being timed, right? Nonetheless, on the downslope where you said it's not being timed, that's where you can really wait and then
Exactly.
there's
and
pack dynamic to come in as well.
Because in the previous race for the men's, right, there's like two guys on the same team, but they tried and drop each other. I'm not sure why. And then by the end of the race, they were like, "Hey, why didn't you help me on the descent? We could have gone to the KOM segment together." So
I guess maybe that's where, you know, sometimes with riders, especially in the heat of the moment,
you
because
can't
you're
really
really
think of
digging
that.
deep, you're just
Exactly.
thinking, I need to
Thinking
push
on your own.
down the pedals,
Yeah.
push on the pedals, don't stop.
Exactly.
Right, and then you at least in this KOM race where in this case the QOM race,
QOM, yeah.
right, where they are, you know, they may forget that they are not being timed on the downslope.
Exactly.
Right? Especially if it's just a straight out race, you just want to get the people behind you, build up a lead so that, you know, if you do suffer on the climbs, you still can. There's still a bit of leeway for you to work.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but in this case where it's more of a race against a clock, right? I guess that's where the interesting element comes in. Yeah, so just looking at the power numbers, right? You see them kind of just steady going about high threes, almost 4 watts per kilo. Definitely not easy.
But the gaps are maintaining within the top three. They're all within like about 30 seconds of each other.
Yeah. Just about 30 seconds. In fact, it's about a 30-second gap from Clara to Doreen, and
and
about
then,
another
like, maybe
30,
10,
slightly
20.
over that.
Yeah.
Oh, now I think the gap has grown to about 51.
Wow.
Right, and you can see, some media coverage photos. At the end of the day, coming here, you do get some good photos.
Yeah.
That's all that.
Instagram worthy photos.
Yeah, it shows that you showed up,
Yeah.
you did it, and you can brag about it as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, looking at
And show people
Christina.
that you suffered for this kind of race.
Yeah.
And now we
So
got
they're still going,
Still
and they're still
Christina.
going, and I guess they're maybe about halfway through the climb, right? Remember the
Yeah.
lead-in is they've climbed about 200 meters, and each
Yeah.
climb is about 400.
meters. So
even
they're halfway in
yeah,
already.
even you take your plus minus here and there for the lead-in,
Yeah.
right? Where there's still a little bit of rolling slopes.
Yeah.
They're just about halfway through the segment, so
So
let's see.
almost there.
and you can tell that they're actually going pretty fast.
Mm.
Almost 7 kilometers in 20 minutes doesn't seem fast, but then
But
again,
it-
you have to realize that they're fighting up this kind
This
of
kind
gradient.
of gradients, yeah.
Yeah.
So can we
It's
see
really,
Doreen
really-
again? Because I want to see the gap. Oh, it's still 30 seconds. So
Yeah,
she's I
actually
think-
keeping
yeah,
pace with
yeah, she's keeping the pace.
Clara, which maybe, right, my speculation is that Clara did try to put in a little bit of effort to try to create a gap in the first place, right?
And then she's like,
At least build up a lead on the
Yeah,
first run. Then
Yeah.
maybe we won't know, but we'll see later. If maybe she waits for the Doreen even on
Yeah.
the downslope, right? Makes use of that, and then
exactly, to rest up.
basically forces the Doreen to have to pull open the gap to even catch up on the timing,
Yeah.
right? Because if let's say Doreen catches up on the downslope,
Yeah.
right? Even if they cross the line together on the second climb, Clara will have
Yeah,
quite
Clara
a
would have
significant
got-
lead right
yeah,
there, 30
she has the
seconds.
30 seconds, yeah. So I'm not sure where Doreen can find that 30 seconds, but we'll see because we'll never know. We really never know.
Yeah.
But knowing Clara, I think she'll just pull away whenever she can, especially on the second climb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, I think Doreen is not gonna give up as
yeah,
well.
exactly.
right?
Yeah, I think Doreen is like probably if not as much or even more competitive than Clara. So both of them are super competitive.
Yeah,
So
here
we'll
we have a shot of all the competitors on the bikes. We're looking at Janella at
Doing
the
good.
front as well, right? Just putting it head down,
Just
just
mashing
pushing
pedals.
it through. Yeah. I guess a lot of riders, especially when they hit the climb, in this
Yeah.
case, you're just telling yourself, don't stop pedaling, keep the
Don't
cadence
stop.
up. Once you let off, just even for a moment on the
Yeah.
pedals, the inertia is crazy.
Like for
you
me
know.
personally, right, if I'm going to climb, if I even touch like maybe 70 cadence or like lower, right, I will start to like lose like the momentum already, and then I'll like slow down. So I really have to keep up that maybe 90 RPMs, which is like optimal, I think, for climbing.
Yeah, some say you should grind up the climbs, right? And here we're looking at Janella, her cadence has dropped a little. Oh, but
Speaking of
that's
grinding,
I think,
yeah, she's
I think that's
grinding up
because
the
she's
climb.
off the saddle.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, also we're seeing a bunch of different techniques. We see like Clara and Doreen like just going high cadence. Then we see Janella over there doing,
Yeah.
or Christina was it, doing low cadence and just standing over the saddle.
yeah, you
Yeah.
see just Clara just pumping out 80 cadence, but heart rate is still pinned 170 something,
Yeah.
right?
Then we see Doreen. Yeah, Doreen has way higher cadence than Clara, but
Yeah, Doreen's
Yeah.
cadence is almost hitting 100,
yeah.
right?
Oh, Clara kind of pulled away slightly from Doreen, but it's not that much. It's still within the 30
yeah,
second gap.
just maybe about another 5 seconds. Yeah, and I guess the interesting thing is that the distance up the road, I mean, you can't really see much from Zwift itself, but the distance up the road may not actually be that great. It's
Yeah.
just that because of the speeds they're going, when they hit the inclines, time gaps do,
Open up a little bit.
do open up, right?
It's because when someone reaches like
Yeah.
a flat spot, they kind of get a bit more speed,
Yeah.
and that's why the
And you see
distance
the gap from Doreen to Christina also is steadily opening. It's about
Yeah.
1.5 minutes now.
Yeah.
But another Christina is still pushing out, right? Similar power numbers, in fact.
Yeah.
Right, you can see she's fighting up a 11% gradient, right?
Really fighting it. I think she's standing
Yeah.
up right now. I
Yeah,
think.
and this is where when you see the cadence drops, typically that's where they're going
Stand
a
up.
little bit into off saddle technique as well.
Exactly. So can we see Pretty again?
maybe let's take a look at Preeti, right?
How is she doing?
Okay, it's not ready.
Oh, this is really
Alright,
good actually.
she's still pushing on.
Yeah.
She's right, still soldiering on. Now her watts per kilo may not be as high, but I guess that's maybe expected from a
Yeah, from
newcomer.
newcomer, yeah.
Yeah, nonetheless, it's still important that she's still pushing on, still pushing through, right? And I guess that was maybe just to share a little bit my own experience racing the men's elite previously in the elimination race, right? You really realize that at this top tier,
Yeah.
right, of riders in Singapore, it's a whole different
It's a whole
ballgame,
different ballgame,
right? Sometimes
yeah.
you're like, oh, what did I sign up for?
Yeah, you kind of like slowly you start to realize during the race how much more leveled up they are like compared to ourselves, right?
Yeah, but
And then it kind of puts
nonetheless,
into
right,
perspective.
to even just get there to ride with these kind of
Exactly.
people,
Yeah, it's already a good,
Yeah.
really good experience for.
and it serves as
everyone.
motivation to train
Mm,
harder, and one
exactly.
day you might at
Like,
least get
even
close,
reach, or
right?
yeah,
If not
reach there,
already
yeah.
reached that
Exactly.
level too. So good job, Preeti. Keep going, right? We're all cheering for you,
There's
right?
not a lot of beginners, like especially in the actual road scene, right? Like in on the outside, you can't really get to ride with people of those caliber sometimes. Like not always.
unless
right?
you know them or
Exactly.
you have the opportunity.
Yeah. So it's good to have this like kind of platform for them to
Yeah,
even
yeah.
see what kind of like
In
potential there
fact, this is
yeah.
where they get to know them.
Exactly,
then
yeah.
that's where they can
to build that connection.
build
and then
connection, train together, and
Yeah.
then one day you'll see them out on the roads as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
right? And you'll see them all competing together,
Exactly.
riding together. Yeah, here we're looking at Christina still pushing on, right? You can see the power just slightly starting to dip a
dipping,
little here and
But
there.
it's still,
I guess.
she's still hitting forwards per kilo.
Yeah, I guess
so,
that's where they are really feeling the resistance on the bike,
Mm.
because you do feel that that momentary shift in the cadence
Yeah.
on the bike, the power does fluctuate a little
Yeah,
bit,
Correct.
right? And I guess that's where it becomes very mental, just trying to push it down, try to
Exactly.
keep going, keep it steady and constant as well.
Can we see the gap with Doreen and Clara? So just click on Doreen.
Yeah, the gap is opening up a little bit,
Okay.
right? You can see on the leaderboard on the right side here, Clara just opening up to almost 50 seconds right now. Right, she's truly a climber, just
Yeah,
pushing
she-
up, right? And Doreen just not giving up as well.
No,
time
she's
gap
not
was-
letting up so easily.
Yeah, you heard us yet for so long, and the gap is only open about 10 seconds,
Exactly, yeah.
right? 10 seconds sounds like a lot in cycling, and maybe it is,
It is,
right?
it is. In terms
But-
of climbs,
But nonetheless, if you're
Yeah.
going up against a pure climber, it's
yeah,
really,
it's,
really
it's actually really good
you have
already.
to try to hold them in.
Yeah.
See Clara's watts per kilo also is just spiking up to about over 4,
Four-ish.
and you can see that there's a slight disparity as well.
Mm.
Right, now Doreen's trying to match, but you can tell that
Yeah,
they're
like
both digging
Clara's-
deep and putting in the effort.
Like Clara's asking questions, but does Doreen have the answers to all of her questions? We'll see. But I mean, we can see like a 1 second 1 second decrease in the gap.
Yeah.
But
That's where they're pushing hard. They're
yeah,
pushing strong.
like you see Doreen there just like peaked almost 5 watts per kilo. She could be standing up actually, but I'm not sure. I don't know. So she-
Yeah, and I guess that's where if you go off saddle, typically the power
Yeah,
output
like
does go up
spike
a little bit.
Yeah.
Right, but that's where the cadence goes down, and I guess
Mm.
that's how it evens out, and
Exactly.
it uses slightly different muscle
Yeah,
groups
muscle
as
group,
well. So
yeah.
I guess that helps them, and especially a long climb,
Yeah.
to just ease the pressure of your legs.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right, and you see here Doreen just
It's chugging
laser
along,
focused. Right,
kind of like singing to the music she's listening to. Maybe. You can see her mouth moving.
yeah, anything to take away from the pain, right?
Yeah,
Just-
anything to
just keep
distract you.
going.
Yeah. So I think Clara. Can we take a look at Clara? Ah, okay. So this is like the finishing straight already. She's nearing the
Yeah,
the
you can see
finishing liner
the
for
gradient is
KOM.
leveling off. It's
Yeah.
about just about. Just as we say it goes up to 6%. But it's about to say it was a 2 to 3.
Like one little kicker
Yeah.
before the end, before the finish line.
Yeah.
Well, not really the finish, but like the halfway point.
Yeah, you can see she's climbed already 381 meters. That's
Meters,
quite
yeah.
a lot of
There's
elevation.
only I think 40 meters left because it's 420 meters total.
Yeah. We're looking and we're still going up.
But amazing numbers as usual from Clara. It's really, really great to see this kind of numbers from her.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yes.
amazing to see.
And sometimes, when you look at the watt numbers, it's like,
Yeah.
200 watts, that doesn't
Yeah.
seem like a lot. But you
Yeah.
look at the watts per kilo
Yeah,
and you
watts per
realize that
kilo
they're
is-
heavy
yeah.
hitters.
Yeah.
Even you look at like World Tour pros,
Yeah.
right? They're pushing out 5, 6 watts per
6
kilo,
kilos, yeah.
right? And I'm sure these ladies, yeah, they may be just a tad under,
Yeah.
but nonetheless doesn't take away from the effort that they're putting
Exactly. It's all relative
in.
in
Yeah,
anyways.
it's all
yeah.
relative. I mean, if she was putting down those numbers, she'll be a
She'll
world
be
tour
able
pro
to
too.
rider, yeah.
Yeah, nonetheless, riders like Clara, Doreen,
Yeah.
even Christina, Janella,
Exactly.
these are, in their respective categories,
Yeah, like
some
the
of the top
already.
riders here in
Yeah.
Singapore as well.
Yeah, one of the finest.
Right,
already.
unfortunately, I think we have a few more who joined the previous time, but maybe
Yeah, they
because
couldn't
either
make it.
schedule or injuries.
Main thing is the ITT because
Yeah.
I think most of them want to go for it, so like they're just focusing on that single. Kind
Yeah,
of
and I guess that's the challenge as
Yeah.
well, right? Having so many events to juggle.
Exactly.
Whether it's the virtual TT that's upcoming next time, this climbing challenge,
Yeah.
or even the actual real world national championships for the individual time trials as well. I guess that's one thing that riders have to contend with. When they're
Exactly.
training, how are they going to try to balance all of them together, right? Because training for one discipline doesn't necessarily mean
You
that
have to
you,
stick to
you
that, right?
or
Yeah,
doesn't
you
mean
have
that
to
you'll
do-
do well in another one as well.
Right. Yeah.
So some of them really focus in on the
Have to
training.
focus in. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Here we're looking at the Doreen still pushing out forwards a kilo. That's really, really amazing, right? They've done almost half an hour of effort now, 28 minutes, and they're still going strong.
Really strong actually. Like Doreen's just has her eyes locked on Clara. I think she's really trying not to let her go. But a minute is a bit too much of a gap right now. But it's still possible to catch her. But it's really hard to say. Yeah.
Yeah. And yes, just to remind ourselves also, it's not necessarily the time gap in terms of
Yes,
finishing across the
exactly.
line,
Yeah.
but
It's
I
a
think we also
time
bear in mind that I think at least for the first time round they did start the climb together.
Yeah.
So that is still quite a significant lead that
Yeah.
Clara has
Clara
built up.
Exactly.
If you look at Alright, we look at Christina still pushing through, right? Trying to distract
Yeah.
herself. Right, happy thoughts. Just pushing through, pushing
I
hard.
mean, she can still smile for the camera, so like
Yeah.
maybe she still has some like hidden strength in her.
Yeah,
She's
maybe
hiding
she's
something.
really pacing herself.
Yeah.
Right, Christina from Matador Racing, one of the
Yeah.
top
Yeah.
or premier racing teams here in Singapore,
exactly,
in fact. Right? I remember I heard from one of my friends actually, saying that Matador is one of the most established racing teams
Yeah. I think
here
they
in
have the
Singapore.
most richest history in like one of the teams in Singapore. Yeah.
And especially for women, right?
Yeah.
That they are one of the
Yeah.
most developed women's racing teams
Exactly.
as well.
I think they have the biggest like women's squadron like for Singapore teams
Yeah,
especially.
And to see them come and participate in this as well, come
Yeah,
and
it's
represent
really
their
great,
club. That's where you really see
Yeah.
all the strong riders coming out as well. Right, and not just Christina, but Janella
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah,
right,
they're
you see
always
even
a
in her
pair
name.
coming together. Yeah.
Yeah, you see her name MR181.
Always, yeah.
That's the signature Matador racing number. That's how they
How they identify each other.
identify each other with
Yeah.
their.
It's kind of like
name
a call
tag.
sign for them.
Yeah.
kind of. So
Janella
now-
pushing through. Right, watts per kilo is just dropping off a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. But I guess that's where she's trying to pace herself as well. The cadence has dropped a little.
She's just standing
Yeah,
up
but
right
she's
now.
still pushing through.
Yeah.
Right. Nonetheless, as long as the pedals keep turning, they
Yeah,
will
they're going
be
somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're still going somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at Clara for a
Clara.
while. You can see her watts per kilo
did
has
she
kind of
reach-
dropped. Oh,
Oh,
she's
she crossed the line already. Okay.
all right. And we had
wow.
the first two timings actually. For
Yeah.
if you look at the leaderboard on the
Clara
left,
Doreen,
right? Clara
52 seconds of
23
difference,
minutes
yeah?
and 3 seconds, and Doreen with 23 minutes and 55. So
seconds.
that's looking at
Yeah,
we're looking at
52
about a
seconds,
52 seconds gap.
So Doreen actually kind of closed it a little bit because earlier we saw they have like about a minute and 4.
Yeah, almost about a minute.
So I think Doreen kind of put in a bit more effort just to catch her back on the descent maybe.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you see Clara still spinning the legs,
Yeah.
right? And you might think, oh, they're on the descent.
Yeah,
why
why
still
they-
pedal?
yeah.
But in fact, taking it easy. You see the watts per
Yeah,
kilo just drop off.
Exactly.
Try to bring down the heart rate, but at the
Yeah.
same time, you don't want the legs to just seize up.
Yeah,
With,
because the lactate
you know,
might build up and then you
yeah,
feel the pain.
You want to kind of
after
flush it out, so that's
Exactly.
where you see them kind of just
that.
take an easy spin,
pedaling, yeah.
right? And we looking inside.
Well,
just
Clara's
Clara's
all,
taking it
all
easy now.
smiles from her.
Right, I guess that's where the recovery phase, right?
Yep.
You see her just going, and she's and there will be some moments where they stop
They
pedaling just to
stop.
catch their breath.
Yeah.
Right?
Just enjoy the moment,
Yeah, and she
before you
knows-
suffer again.
Especially in Zwift, right? You realize that on some steeper gradients, when you go above certain speed,
Yeah.
70 kilometers per hour, I saw,
yeah.
right? You see that
Some of them hit like 80 plus.
yeah,
already, I
you
guess.
see that there's this aero tuck as well.
Hmm.
Banned in real life by the UCI, but not
yeah,
on Zwift.
not on Zwift.
right?
So just
Because it's
no
safe.
rules here. And it's safe.
Yeah, and you see
Yeah.
87, 88, right? 87 kilometers per hour. Wow,
Whoa.
faster than some cars.
Yeah.
You know, if you did this speed on PIE, you'll be caught for
You'll be
speeding.
caught for speeding. Yeah, you get a ticket.
Yeah, and that's where I guess, you know, they're really taking the time to recover. Looking at Doreen as well, I
Doreen
guess
as well,
she's
doing
taking
the
the
same.
recovery as well.
Yeah.
Right, just you see the heart rate has started to drop off a little bit.
Yeah.
Alright, from 170 plus to about 150. Right, and even 20 beats per minute, that's a big,
That's
big,
a
big,
big
difference.
You can recover way more just by that 20
just
beats
dropping
per
it
minute.
into
Yeah.
maybe 1, even 2 zones depending
Exactly, yeah.
depending on the person, right? That changes things. You know how you say, oh, base rides are a lot simpler. You can take,
Yeah.
you know, and that versus like tempo threshold is just maybe 10, 15,
10, 15,
BPM
Yeah.
heart rate difference.
Yeah.
And it's a world of difference
Difference,
to
yeah.
what you feel.
Yeah.
So even here, right, just bringing the heart rate down, lets them relax a little bit. You know, stretch their legs. I
It
think
will
some
pay
of
off
them.
dividends in the end. Like by the time they
Yeah.
by the time it gets really hard, that's when it comes back and you say like, oh, I'm glad I tried to recover and put down my heart rate down.
Yeah. I guess that's where it's interesting, right? Because maybe Clara isn't intentionally waiting for Doreen either.
No. I
Right,
don't think so, yeah.
but then again, she's not pedaling, right?
Yeah.
You see the heart rate has dropped all the way down 120 plus,
Yeah.
right? That's definitely nowhere near the max.
No.
We saw about 170 just now.
Yeah. It's a big
Yeah.
drop. Then see with Doreen, maybe she. Okay, Doreen is.
140.
Yeah.
Let's
still
take a look at
140.
Christina.
Yeah, Christina as well.
Right, still pushing up the climb, and you see
Yeah, she's
that's the
almost there.
finish. That's the
Yeah.
finish line for the climb, right? She's still pushing up, pushing through, right? And you see, cadence is really
Really.
still there. That's
Yeah,
I guess
still
what you
high.
typically see on flats, right? Pushing about just 3 watts a kilo. We're looking at, and she crosses the gantry, and that's her time: 27
7
minutes, 17 seconds.
There's a 4 minute Yeah. 3 minutes difference. 3 minutes.
Yeah,
and a
just under
Yeah.
just over 3 minutes, right?
bit. That's
But-
not too bad actually for
yeah.
for them. I mean, comparing them to Clara and Doreen, that's a really good time already.
Remind me again, this race is actually a mix of different categories,
Yeah,
right? We
yeah,
have
mix,
the
exactly.
women's elite, the masters,
Elite.
and senior as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think Christina is under the masters category.
Yeah.
Right.
Masters.
So actually,
So this is
all
just
things
a race
considered,
between-
she's not actually directly competing with Clara and Doreen,
Yeah.
right?
They just happen to be in the same like groupings.
Yeah, and here we're looking at Preeti, we're looking at Janela, still pushing up the climb. Alright, you can see Christina starting to ease off, still
again.
pedaling, right?
Yeah.
Still pedaling because, you know,
can't
just to
completely
flush out,
stop.
just to
Yeah.
flush out the like I said, to keep
Yeah.
the legs moving a little bit. Otherwise, you know, it's gonna be hard to start again.
Exactly.
Yeah. Maybe let's take a look at Preeti for a moment. Right, still pushing
Oh,
up.
she's chugging on with
Right,
the
still
climb,
chugging
yeah.
on. Yeah, she's just past halfway, still going up strong.
Can we see like her? Can we see like her camera? On the, yeah. Let's see how Preeti is doing.
Okay, so give us a moment while we're trying to get her on feet.
Ah.
Okay,
There
and
we
there
go.
we have it.
Yeah.
She's still pushing on, still pushing through. Laser focus, right?
Laser
Camera right
focus.
next to her, but she's unfazed,
Yeah.
just going, riding her own race. And I think that's
Exactly.
that's
Yeah,
exactly
ride your
what
race.
we need,
Yeah.
right? When you're pushing through, difficult. You don't focus on what's going on around you.
Exactly,
Just
just
focus on
focus
your
on
own
yourself.
race.
Yeah. Because the more you focus on the rest, right, you kind of just hindering yourself from even going further.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's take a look maybe at
Yeah.
Janela. Right. And she's also, I guess, getting close. 370 meters climb, so just under 100 meters more to go. Right. Also quite a low cadence. I guess she's still pushing
She's
up.
Just standing up.
Yeah.
Off saddle.
Just trying to keep the legs moving.
I'm
keep
wondering
them
how does she
going.
have such a low heart rate for pushing so much, like this kind of effort. Maybe that's just a.
I guess some
thing-
people
a
are
thing,
naturally
yeah?
disposed to have a lower heart rate.
Ah.
Yeah, it's quite funny because like even for myself when I ride with my
Yeah,
friends, you know, full gas, most of us are. My friends have seen like 200 BPM.
Oh.
I've never seen more than about 180 plus.
Okay.
So I guess different people, you know, the heart
Different
rate.
kind of heart
Yeah,
rates,
they just have
yeah.
different ones as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we see Janela just pushing through, digging deep, right?
Yeah, her and Janela, they have this like freakishly low heart rate for some reason. Maybe it's the heart rate monitor. I'm not sure, but yeah.
Maybe not,
it's
but I
just
guess
them.
if it works,
Yeah.
right? Is there any way for us to see the YouTube comments?
Oh yeah, on the phone. I think.
Yeah, and I'm sure many of you on the live stream will
Yeah.
be typing
Cheering
your
them
comments,
on.
right? Because actually, if you if not sure if the cameras can show, but the competitors actually have the live stream right in front of
so
them.
they can see and everything that y'all message on the
Yeah, they
comments.
can see what you're messaging. They
Yeah.
can see us talking too.
Yeah, so just please just send in your comments, whatever you want to cheer them on. Just
Right.
just tell them and let them know. Because
Yeah,
they
yeah,
will
but-
see it. Yeah.
And looking
Yeah, we do
quite a
have
lot
some.
of encouragement.
Yeah. So like one
Right.
from Timothy. Oh, you ladies are so strong, inspiring. There we go.
Yeah, I guess we have a message from
Timothy.
Timothy to
Oh, this was the
Dari.
kid earlier from the Singapore Sports School. They went in earlier for their own race as well.
Mm.
Yeah, another KOM. Yeah, because they wanted to try it out. Mm.
Right, and one of the comments, you ladies are so strong, inspiring, and that is definitely true, right?
True.
Especially in, I guess that's something that we don't really appreciate a lot, is
Enough.
that, cyclists, no matter your level, either way, it's still a display of strength to just
Exactly.
get on the bike,
Yeah.
keep pedaling,
And
to
get
just
on
keep
the road
going.
amongst cars, like that's
Yeah.
another feat of like
Even
courage,
virtually,
right?
just
Yeah.
to show up, to compete, just
Yeah,
to ride.
Exactly. And just push yourself, like
Yeah, and then beyond that, really pushing themselves hard,
something getting out of that comfort zone is already amazing enough for most people. So like yeah, just doing that alone really shows your strength.
Yeah. So here we're looking at Clara, and I think has she started the second round?
Can we take a look at Clara?
Oh, I think she
Oh,
has.
she has.
Right,
Oh,
she's
wow.
already up on the second
Yeah.
lap.
And Doreen,
Right.
has Doreen started?
Doreen as well, and you see them still pushing. And Doreen there's still quite a constant gap.
Yeah,
right,
still the
about
same.
53.
Yeah,
So actually, if Doreen,
doesn't do any moves, she might not.
yeah,
Yeah.
Doreen will have quite a bit of a gap that she needs to
Yeah.
close up. Right, she needs to at least chase and catch
Yeah,
Clara,
Yeah.
which might be quite a difficult task.
yeah.
Right, unless Doreen was really holding her punches and waiting for the second round.
She was keeping a trump
Yeah.
card with her.
We'll see. Right, I'm sure Clara still has much more in the tank as
Yeah,
well. Right, her being a
yeah,
climbing specialist. Right.
And like she went for like even longer like climbs in this. So
Mm.
this is for her. It's not really as tough. It's still tough, especially with Doreen being on the cards as well. But for Clara, she has way more experience in doing these kind of like races, especially.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess experience is also something that's
Mm.
quite important, right?
Yeah,
Knowing,
yeah.
I mean, not just knowing your own riding ability, but
Mm.
looking at how to pace it.
Yeah.
Knowing how much further I can go,
Exactly.
how much power can I hold,
Yeah.
right? Knowing if I know the route, what kind of gradient's coming up.
Yeah.
Do I have to put on more power? Let's say
Yeah.
a steeper gradient, can I take it
Mm.
easier? Or some people might do it the reverse.
Exactly.
When they have a flatter gradient, they try to build up the speed,
Yeah.
bring it into the climb as well.
Mm.
Yeah, looking at Clara still pushing. Maybe take a look at Janella, the first name. Right, and she's
Oh, she's
just
not
about
reached the
to
finish.
about
Okay,
to reach the
finally,
finish of
let's
the
go.
climb. Right. So Janella,
Finally,
Riding
Janella can
both
take a big break
re-
from
ref-
from
refer-
her.
yeah, she's definitely looking forward to the descent. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Right.
She's been standing up for. I think maybe for the whole climb she's been just out of the saddle, right? If you
no, I
take
don't
it on
think so.
average,
I
yeah.
think but her cadence definitely dropped, and she's definitely digging deep.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, and I guess something interesting about Janella, you can see from her name, she's not just representing or proud to represent Matador
Because
Racing.
she's another team as well, West Coast Riders.
West Coast
right?
Riders, yeah. Yeah, I guess that's an interesting thing about many riders in Singapore, right?
Mm.
A lot of cross-group riding
Yeah,
as well.
exactly.
It's not a really big community, and I
It's
guess
not just a
that's-
small tight knit like.
yeah, and I
community,
think there's
right?
something nice, right? It's not just you belong to one team and I belong to another, and there's no
Yeah.
cross.
There's no like
integration.
exclusivity. It's more
Yeah.
inclusive for everyone.
So even though she's representing Matador Racing here in
Yeah.
this race,
Exactly.
nonetheless, I guess she's still proud to show that
Yeah.
she's from West Coast Riders as well. And that's Janelle on screen. You see her just going through the gantry, right? And she's finally gets a breather.
Yeah,
Right.
she can lull off the
Still need to
pedals
spin
now.
the legs just to get the lactic out.
Yeah.
Keep them fresh and ready. She took 34 minutes 34 seconds to cross that first climb. Right. So.
And then can we
Still a
see
commendable
Pretty?
effort. Let's take a look at Pretty. Alright.
Ah, she's still
She's
chugging along.
about
Yeah,
another
she's
8
good.
minutes behind,
Yeah.
8.5 minutes behind, but she's still trucking along, and that's
Yeah.
amazing, right?
That's amazing. Yeah.
She's almost 3/4 of the way up,
Mm.
right?
It's really good showing from her because it's the first time, so
Mm.
really no expectations. So this is really exceeding her expectations, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's something amazing just to show up, right, to race against an elite field. It can be very demotivating to some, but at the same time, you're just showing that you're there. You're not afraid to compete. You're not afraid to just go.
And there's one thing about being a newcomer, right? Because you don't really know the heavy hitters or like the names that you gotta watch out for. So you're just going in just to like do what you want to do, and you really have no pressure on yourself. So yeah, that's another amazing thing about it.
Yeah. So keep going. We're cheering for you. Right. So let's take a look at the front of the race.
Yeah,
right.
Clara and
Clara
Doreen.
still pushing through, pushing out.
If you see Doreen's name, should we see a bigger gap? Oh,
It's similar.
It increased.
It just
It's like a
changes.
min- oh yeah.
Yeah, we're looking at actually. It's a bigger gap. Now it's almost 1.5. Right, so Clara definitely I guess she was getting priming herself for the second
And
second
this is
time
where
up.
she just dishes all the watts out.
Yeah.
So like,
And Doreen, she's still responding. She's still
Yeah.
pushing at about 4 watts per kilo.
but it's
still
not
there.
enough. It's still there, but
Right.
it's not good. It's not enough to catch Clara at this point.
Yeah.
Especially when it gets really steep. So the weight differences will play a much bigger role. Even if it's just 1 kilo of difference, it already gives him a few seconds over each other.
Yeah, in fact, if we toggle between Clara and Doreen, you look at the power output, you see that the numbers actually aren't that much different.
Very similar.
Right, Clara doing just about 200 watts.
Then
If you
we
look
see
at Doreen, right, or maybe now just taking a slight dip, but you see that she was actually doing just about there, right, 200, 180 here and there. And I guess that's where something to take note about Zwift, right, that watts per kilo, the height and weight matters quite a bit. Maybe height is more for the drafting effect, but for the weight, definitely.
That's the main one you gotta.
Right, and on steep climbs like this, 5%, 5.4% average going up 7 km, watts per kilo is immense. It's an immense.
Like especially for earlier when we had the Singapore sports who come over, right? Like the kids weigh like they're super light. So some of them we see 3 watts per kilo coming out from them. So which is like quite amazing for kids who haven't even really tried cycling yet. Yeah. So I think really especially for this kind of race, this type of race where they have to really rely on their weight. Not much to say power, but just having that such a low weight can actually see like a really good performance from kids alone. Yeah.
And just looking at their watts per kg numbers, right? They're still putting out similar power actually, right? So and you can see Doreen just holding the gap kind of steady at about 1.5 minutes. So maybe it's just some of the steeper ramps that you see the gap kind of open a little bit.
So we can
right when the speed dips off.
Yeah, and then we see Clara like slowly inching away from Doreen.
Yeah.
Because every time it kind of like reaches a steeper part, we'll see Clara holding on to a higher watts per kilo than Doreen. So that's what kind of makes her go further away.
Yeah, and that's how you know they're digging deep.
Yeah.
Right here you see Clara just
really
looks like she's
smashing on the
bouncing up and
pedals.
down and enjoying herself when she's off the saddle, and there's definitely just laser focus pushing out the watts.
I mean,
pushing
look at her
out
face.
pedals.
She's kind of like in this swinging rhythm. She's just enjoying it.
And I guess that's one thing about riding, right? Once you get yourself into a rhythm, you just
you kind of like zoned in, locked in, right? Yeah. And I think the riders that are able to enter into that like zone, right, are the ones that do really well, where they can like hyper focus on their effort. Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, let's take a look back at maybe Christina.
Oh, can we see? Yeah.
Yeah,
Christina.
it's been a while since we looked at her, and she's definitely still pushing up. Alright, also about 3 watts a kilo. Definitely the power dropped off just a little bit compared to the first time round, right?
Oh.
Maybe the fatigue.
Oh, take a look. It's can we see this back? It's Desmond.
Desmond.
He came in early, so he already actually so for the previous participants of our race, right, we gave them this like 3D printed medallion, so it kind of represents like them being the first ones to join the race. Then we have this system where whenever you participate in each race that we have, we'll give you like a small token to like fill up that medal of yours, so you can kind of like keep it as a keychain or like just to show that I participated in this race. It's like it's a small gift of appreciation from us lah. Yeah.
I got one too.
Oh, you got one too again?
Yes, from the previous elimination race. Unfortunately, I won't be getting one for this time. Because I know that
how much they have filled up? So it's just the first one and then
only the second one actually. I missed the scratch race unfortunately. Yeah, but I guess there's always another round maybe next year.
Yeah.
Right, to look forward
for sure.
to. Yeah. Right here, looking at Christina from Matador Racing, and she's still pushing along, right? Firmly in the 3 watts per kilo range, right? Still pushing out the cadence, still pushing out, finding up an 8% climb. Right.
Still trying to eat up every single tarmac that she can, because
Yeah.
now she's what, 500? Oh, she's almost, yeah.
Yeah. You can cut to the inside shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and
We see.
maybe let's take a look at
take
this
it outside.
inside. Oh,
Inside.
hold on while we get the cameras in place. You can see all the participants just
Yeah.
focused. Right, we see all of them
All of
right
them.
in their own respective.
Then you see
ways.
Clara just bouncing up and down.
Clara
This-
bouncing up and down,
Yeah.
Christina just pushing through
Pushing
the pain.
through all different
Janela
styles
also
of
just
the-
digging deep.
Yep.
Right, you see Preeti just
Pretty
soldiering on, right?
Yeah.
Just staying in her own element, staying in her own
amazing.
rhythm, right? Just spinning those legs, making sure that she doesn't stop pedaling as
Once
well.
you stop, it's
Yeah.
really hard to get started again. So for her, this is really showing really how strong she is mentally. Like for
Mm.
all of them actually. Yeah.
Okay, here at the front of the
Clara
race,
again.
Clara just going, pushing out 4.8, 4.9, almost 5 watts a kilo.
Yeah.
Right?
This is,
Now she's really putting the hammer down.
Yeah.
Now she's, especially off the saddle, I think
Yeah.
she's really just trying to create as much of a gap.
I think earlier maybe she was just warming up, and then this is like where she's really putting out all the all the gas out already.
Maybe I wouldn't say warming
Well,
up,
not really
but
warming up,
I
but
guess
like-
pacing
yeah.
yourself, right? Pacing is really important, and you see the gap to Doreen 1:45 now,
Yeah.
right? Definitely growing, but Doreen also still pushing out 4 watts a kilo. I guess
Yeah.
she's taking it a lot more constant,
Yeah.
right? You saw similar power numbers at the first time up the climb
Yeah.
as well,
Yeah.
right?
Like she knows she can't really close the gap anymore, so now she's just trying to focus on maybe making the time as short as possible.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And I guess there's always this element of just proving to yourself that hey, I
Mm.
can keep up, I can do
Yeah,
this,
exactly.
right? You're definitely not giving up as
Mm.
well, right? But both of them pushing hard, 180
Really
BPM, they're probably gasping for air as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
If I'm at that heart rate, it's just like starting to question my own existence. Why do I even
Why
participate
would
in
you
this?
do this? Why
And
would I do this
that
to
and
myself?
that is actually something that's amazing about
Like
about these
cyclists, right?
competitors here,
Yeah,
right? They're
yeah.
here putting themselves through pain, right? And for some people, they may just say, for what?
Yeah.
Right?
What
What's the
reason,
point?
right? What purpose, right?
I guess
Yeah.
that's why we as cyclists,
But
we
different.
love it.
Yeah.
We love it. We love proving to ourselves that
Yeah.
we can do this.
Call us weird, but we love it here.
Yeah. Right, you can see Clara starting to ease off a little
Ease
bit in
off a
terms of
bit.
power, right?
Yeah.
3.5, 3.3. I guess she knows that she has a comfortable gap, right? And she's actually built time
Yeah.
on this
Built time
on
over
this
time.
climb as well, almost a minute, I think.
Yeah. More than I
Right?
think it's a minute already.
But I
yeah.
think
It's a
they
minute.
started the climb about 50 seconds
Yeah.
apart, and now she's building
Added
up.
another 50.
Yeah. So for Doreen to catch up
Is yeah.
definitely a monumental
And
task.
then we've only about 200-ish meters left. Yeah.
Of climbing, that is,
Yeah,
not 200
climbing,
meters of,
yeah,
of
yeah.
racing, because you can
Exactly.
tell. And see, they've put out this kind of power for almost 50 minutes
50
now.
minutes, yeah.
Right, it's not
Just-
easy.
It's like you're doing an FTP test.
With a slight break in between.
Yeah, it's like bringing between.
No, but
yeah.
if you think about it, they're pushing out this kind of power for
Yeah.
over 20 minutes. Actually,
Yeah.
is
It
an
is,
FTP
yeah,
test.
right.
Right, maybe they're not going full gas yet.
Yeah.
Right, just saving that little bit to get them
Yeah.
going the second round, but it's still
It's
nonetheless
pretty close to
near
something
there,
like that, yeah.
definitely near threshold.
Yeah.
Right, you see Clara just here we see on the feed. Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Oh, some miscommunication with our stream here.
Oh, but this is a
But
good
yeah,
shot
we're
over
looking,
here.
yeah, we're looking at Clara and we see she's just, even her in-game avatar is just.
It's just yeah. She
keeping
looks
it
like her
steady and
in-game
pushing.
avatar. Like her in-game avatar doesn't have any expressions. It looks like exactly what
Yeah,
Clara's
just
displaying.
game face.
yeah, just game
right.
face.
Can't tell whether she's enjoying it, she's
Yeah, or
in
she's
hurt,
suffering or
suffering
what.
or what.
Can't tell what she's thinking
You
about.
know, it's just there.
Yeah.
I guess that's maybe some of the more seasoned riders you
Yeah.
see. They're really calm and composed.
Hmm.
Right? They may be pushing at the threshold, at the limit, but
Yeah,
nonetheless, it just seems as if
it's not. It's like
it's just
effortless.
another day on the bike,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And I guess if you're a competitor, you're looking at someone else and like, man, they're
like
just,
what? Yeah, like I'm mentally suffering and it's showing in my face. But why is it not the same for them? and then that mental battle constantly up the climb is another thing. Yeah. So did the gap increase with her and Doreen?
I'm not sure. It's
Three
still
seems-
steady about, maybe it's open up almost 2 minutes now. Yeah. Maybe let's take a look at Preeti. Let's see if where she is on the climb. Right, and she's actually almost finished,
Almost
right? We're
finished,
looking
yeah.
at, I think when she crosses the line of the climb, it should be about 420
420,
meters.
yeah. So it'll be about
right?
exactly an hour for her.
Yeah.
She's really good.
And that
honestly.
includes the run in as well,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So she's just about 30-40 meters of climbing remaining, right? It's still gonna feel like it's a lot of pain, but
Yeah.
definitely, like we said, right, the effort is there.
Yeah.
You know, she's doing really, really well, just pushing on the pedals, not giving up,
Yeah.
right? And you see, especially from her cadence, she's not letting off,
No.
or taking it easy as well. Right?
She
I
knows that
imagine.
she has to keep on pedaling to even like complete this, so she's really fighting on,
Yeah.
not willing to let it go. Yeah. And the thing is, right, this is kind of weird because if you see 10% in real life, right, it's steep.
It's
But
steep.
like, yeah, it's steep. So like, it's a different kind of ball game or dynamic where you're in a virtual world, right? You see 10%, but like you don't feel it as much. I think.
Yeah, I guess you
mentally.
feel it in the resistance of the bike, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
why
yeah.
when if you have gears on the bike,
Yeah.
you get to change it a little
Yeah.
bit. But yeah, I guess sometimes it can kind of mess with your mind. You feel like you're pedaling so hard, and then
Yeah.
you look up at
eh.
he's on Zwift and you're doing
Yeah.
6 kilometers an hour, right? And you see, it's a 10% climb. Like,
Yeah.
hold on a minute,
Wait,
what's
what?
going on, right? And I guess that's part of the mental game as well, because when in real life, when you see the
Yeah.
gradient, you
Yeah.
see that it's a steep climb.
Yeah.
You can kind of tell yourself, okay,
Yeah.
this is gonna hurt. I just need to
Yeah.
push through. I just
Exactly.
need to gun it up,
Yeah.
right? Do as hard as I can. And here you're just pushing on the pedals once you find a rhythm. So I guess it goes both ways,
Yeah.
right? Especially if you're racing with people, and then it's and you may not necessarily see who you're
Who is-
racing
yeah,
with,
who you're
depending
racing
on again
Yeah.
where you're seated, which bike you're allocated to. Yeah. So we'll keep our feet on Preeti for a while more, right? Just to see until she finishes up the climb.
Yeah, let's just follow her all the way. We'll see. And then
Yeah.
also another thing, maybe for like, especially for virtual cycling, right? Like the setup we have here, because now they're all virtually like separated, like they're like kilometers away from each other, but they're actually racing together. Like they can see each other. So that's another thing that kind of like motivates them to keep on going. Like
Yeah,
because
yeah.
if you were like, for example, if I was pretty and then I can't even see my friends anymore, then they kind of like
Yeah, it's
either-
very demoralizing.
Yeah, it's very demoralizing.
And
but
in
the
fact, here we have her on camera,
Yeah.
and you can even see Clara, who's the head of leading the race,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Just at the side of the feed as well.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
know that they're all together.
Yeah.
You see your competitors pedaling, and
Yeah.
you're telling yourself, no, if
Exactly.
they haven't given up, I'm not
I
giving
am
up
not
either,
giving up.
right?
And then can we switch back again to Pretty on her?
Oh, I guess
Because,
the camera's moving a little.
yeah.
We'll cut back shortly,
Okay.
right? But yeah.
Because
we'll
earlier
see
when we
Preeti.
saw her Pretty, she was just like laser focused. Her expression was just like, I'm dead set on completing this. yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely not giving up as well. Right, so I guess that's something to appreciate. Power numbers may not be as
High.
outstanding or as high, but effort
Effort
cannot be
counts.
taken away.
Exactly.
Right.
Effort. Yeah. Effort is always relative for everyone. Like
Mm.
maybe like her effort right now is already, maybe she haven't done this kind of effort in her cycling experience. So this is another like new dimension or like new level for her. Yeah. Maybe somewhere where she can find somewhere where she can actually dig deeper, right? Somewhere she hasn't reached before. So I think
Yeah.
for her,
I guess that's
it's
where
really good.
breakthroughs are made,
Yeah,
right? That's where
exactly.
progress is made.
yeah.
I used to have a friend who told me, with all these events, where you try to push yourself to the limit.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, even if you don't do well, take it as it's just another training session,
Yeah.
right?
exactly.
An all-out training session.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, there may be a bit of stakes, but at the end of the day, when you do it, you still improve, right? You're still pushing your body there,
Yeah.
right? And I guess that's what matters.
Yeah, especially progress. I mean, there's progress, but it doesn't matter if it's 1% or like a few percent more. There's progress in general, right? So that's the good thing. It's a positive thing. Yeah.
Okay, and here we see inside
All
the room, right?
ladies.
Janella's still pushing,
Yeah.
right? Janella's
Yeah.
still pushing. Here we have Christina
Christina.
also digging deep, right?
Then we have
Doreen as well,
Doreen.
pushing hard. Right, you see
Oh,
the
interesting.
laser
We
focus.
can see earlier we saw Christina and Janela. They are both on the TT position.
Yeah, I guess that's
Huh.
where they want to kind of take
Yeah.
a breather, just
Right?
relax the upper body a little
yeah.
bit.
And then just
you
focus
know.
more on the power.
Yeah.
And then we have a we have like a Clara just standing up still. So she's still
bouncing a
standing
little.
up. Yeah, she's still bouncing. Yeah.
Right.
Maybe that's the
still
style of
going.
climbing. She's like
In fact, here she's passing pretty.
oh pretty.
in the
Oh
second
wow.
round. Wow.
Wow. She's kind of like what? Do you know the rider Alberto Contador? Yeah, right. Do you know,
Yeah,
do you know
yeah,
him?
yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that he doesn't even sit down on the climbs. He always stands up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing. You know, to
He
see
was
that
a
climb.
legend
You
now,
see Clara
basically.
just coming up to the gate now. She's about to finish off the race for her.
for herself.
Right. So
But let's
just
see
a
her
little bit
total
more,
time.
and she's going. And let's see her time up this one. Right, she's definitely gunning it all the way to the end. You
Yup.
see her just not
Treating
stopping.
it like a sprint finish.
Right, 200, 220 watts, just pushing it, and across the
And
line we go.
congrats.
Right.
So she got a total
and she, in fact, she
time.
improved her
Oh
time.
wow, she got
22
even faster.
minutes. Right, let's see. You can see pretty.
The pretty. Yeah. She should be finishing soon.
Yeah. Oh, I think we have something on Yi.
Yeah, just
Pretty.
yeah.
And I think she's just about to cross the
There we
line.
go.
Right, so Clara's finished. Right, Clara's crossed the line and she's improved her time by almost a minute. Right, that's
Wow.
really, she was really saving it for the
She's
second
saving
one.
For the second one, yeah.
Right, not to discount the first time out of the climb, but still,
but
that's
still,
amazing
Yeah.
to improve the time by a minute. Right, and here we have Pretty just about to cross the line, going through the gantry. Right, and then she can take a well-deserved break before she starts the climb the second round again.
Yeah.
Right. And her time for this climb,
Under an hour.
right,
Hey,
51
congrats.
minutes, right, which is
Yeah.
actually pretty good,
Yeah.
right? The fact that she didn't stop, she kept just going, that's
She
amazing.
didn't even take a break. She just kept on going. You know.
Yeah. Let's cut to Doreen and let's see where she is on the climb. And she's definitely on, she's on the finishing
Finishing
leg as well.
Yeah.
Right, and we'll see what's her time, whether she did manage to gun it up as well. You see her heart rate going high 180s, right? She's still pushing it. She's definitely got a line in her sights now, right?
You can see her there. She's just spinning. It's like 100 cadence.
Yeah, she's pushing out
Yeah,
almost
she's really
250
pushing
watts,
everything.
right?
Everything, all she's got.
She's
We almost saw like
giving
a 6
everything.
watt per kilo over there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at this point, imagine you're going up, you climb up a mountain, and then now you're gonna sprint across the line. You know, and I'm sure some of them would have been inspired with the
Really.
current Tour de France going on,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
You see Pogacar just going.
Oh, we can see her sprinting right now.
Oh, she's sprinting. She's sprinting. You saw about 300 plus watts actually. That's pretty insane.
Wow.
5 watts a kilo.
Wow, 111
Right, and
cadence.
she's
Wow,
going-
she's really sprinting out of the saddle now.
Yeah, and she's getting ready to cross the line right here.
Almost.
And let's see her time.
Yay.
Right, and
Her time is...
she's improved by about 30 seconds. So
Yeah.
she
Wow.
might have lost another 30 seconds, but nonetheless, you see that they really just gunned it up the second time.
Yep. They
Right.
didn't let up at all.
Yeah, and I guess that shows you how important pacing is as well, right?
Exactly.
You know, people talk about negative splits when
Yep.
they train, and I guess this is the same thing as well. They're just pushing up the climb, but still saving something in the tank for the second round.
Yeah, we don't want to blow up too early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here we have Christina also
Still
still progressing onward. Right, so we have 3 more riders remaining in the race. That's why you see the leaderboard is getting shorter and shorter. You have Preeti, you have Christina, you have Janela still
Yeah.
pushing through.
And don't mind
Right.
that the Adrian name. That's just for us to spectate.
Yeah, that's for us to spectate. So, yeah, unfortunately we are not pedaling. We are at 44 minutes behind. Here we have Christina still pushing through 3.5 watts a kilo, right? Just on a 12% climb. 12% is like
Yeah,
steep
Toju
side of
is
Faber.
Steep, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, definitely pushing hard, pushing through. Right, let's see. And she's coming up on the feet. Here,
There
you
we
see her
go.
just pushing through the
Christina.
pain, just you can see the whole
just
using her
using
whole
her
body
whole
into
body.
it, right? Just trying
Yeah.
to get everything into the pedals.
Yeah.
you know.
Every bit of strength she can get, she's just
Yeah,
using it.
Every bit of it. Her legs
Yeah.
definitely screaming at her to stop. Like, you can see she tried to get out of the saddle, but she had to sit right
Yeah.
back down.
And then now she's on a
Yeah.
different position with TT.
Yeah, just
puppy
to rest the
paws.
body a little bit, but the
Yeah.
legs do not get a rest. Yeah,
Legs never rest for them.
yeah, you can tell she's just pushing, pushing, pushing.
Then we move over to Janela next.
Take a look at Janela.
Yeah, she's probably
Right.
on the TT position still.
Yeah,
That's like her maybe that's like a bread and butter for
yeah,
virtual
maybe
races,
maybe
yeah?
that's what she feels comfortable
Yeah,
with, right? At
exactly.
least to give herself a little
Yeah.
bit of keeping it easier for her legs to move, right? So
Yeah.
she doesn't have to. She can focus the strength down into her
Yeah.
legs as well. You know, even the riding posture may affect like how you
how your
recruit the
muscle is
different-
activated, right?
Yeah.
So we're kind of seeing so many different riding styles. Like we see Doreen with like high cadence, then we see Claire with like out of saddle,
Mm.
and then we see Janela with her being on the TT puppy paws position.
Yeah, and you see it's just so even in such a small field, 5
Yeah.
riders, right? There's so much going on in a race as well.
Yeah.
You know, you can
So
only
even though
imagine that, you know, if you have a bigger field, how much more
Yeah,
exciting it
how
would
much
be
more?
too.
Yeah,
right?
all the different
I
characters.
mean, not to take away
different
from this race
styles.
because it's still a
Still a
lot.
good race, yeah.
I mean, you've heard us talking non-stop for like
Yeah.
past hour,
Past hour already.
right? And you know, you can only imagine, right? With more riders, more racers, I'm sure things will spice up a lot more.
Exactly.
Right, you see different riding styles, people with very constant power, or they're able to push when the gradients come.
Yeah.
You know,
You can see even more like maybe chasers or like people trying to break away or maybe try to chase back gaps.
yeah. So calling out all the ladies out there
Yeah,
tuning the
please
stream,
join.
right? Next round,
Yeah.
even though it's just a time trial
Yeah, I
and
know
you're
y'all-
doing it individually,
Yeah.
but still it'll be exciting if you guys could join as well,
Yeah.
right? And I'm sure there are prizes to be won.
Yes, exactly. Cash prizes.
Definitely an
Yeah,
incentive.
and especially the medal is the most important one.
Yeah. Right. Here we're looking at Janela still going 3 watts a kilo. Right, still pushing
Yeah,
through.
That's amazing.
Right, her power dips off a
Yeah.
little bit, but you know she's
Mm.
still fighting on, pushing on. Yeah. And let's take a look at Christina. So Christina still pushing through. I think she's about to reach the
Yeah, this
finishing
is really
straight
close already.
soon.
Once you see those like buildings over there, it's pretty
Yeah.
close already.
I think you mentioned about this this route, right?
Yeah.
The part of the Innsbruck map.
Yep. It's the actual one. Like it's
on
as
Zwift.
close as you can get. For,
Yeah, I think
for
it was one of the
digitalized.
world championships, right?
Yep.
Previously, so imagine you had the whole peloton from like all the World Tour pros racing up this climb,
Mm.
you know, racing up this place. In fact,
If I'm not wrong, it was actually used for an ITT race instead. It was the World Champs
was it?
TT. If I'm not wrong, yeah.
oh, I thought it was the road race.
Is it the road
Yeah,
race?
but I think
oh, I think yeah, you're right.
it might have
It's
been
the
the road race,
The
right?
road race, yeah.
So Innsbruck was, I think, quite a number of years ago.
Yeah.
But still,
I think it was back in 2020, 2022. A few years
maybe
back.
2019. Was it 2019?
I think, yeah, a few
Yeah.
years back, definitely. Yeah.
Definitely a few years back. But I guess there's something cool about these virtual platforms, right? You get to
Mm.
race on routes. I mean, sure, you're not there physically, you don't get to enjoy the nice weather,
But
you're
the
still stuck in
profile is
Singapore.
about the same.
Yeah, you get to
still
enjoy the
experience it.
profile,
Yeah.
enjoy the route, and like these climbs that you don't get in Singapore,
Yeah.
right? And you get to do pretty much all your idols, you know, in the world tour, whether it's the men's world tour, women's world tour.
You get to experience what
You
they
experience what they
as
experience.
close as you can get, right?
Yeah. So maybe let's take a look at Preeti, right? And you still see that she's still going strong. She's still going.
She's about to reach the climb again. She's pretty
Yeah.
close to it.
Or is she already on the climb? Is she already on the climb? 17 kilometers. She might be close, or at least about to begin the
I
climb
think she's
again.
pretty close.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, she's reached. I think she's gonna reach the start of the KM again.
Yeah, and she's still going strong, still just digging deep. Right?
I
See
mean,
her
you can
laser
see her,
focus.
you can see her face right now. She's like, she looks angry, but like you know that's her like just focusing on her effort right now. And she looks serious. She looks serious. As
I
well.
mean, definitely, right? You,
Yeah.
you know that if whoever signs up for this, they're
Yeah,
definitely in it.
serious. In it to
Right.
win it. Oh.
Yeah. Or at least to prove to themselves,
Yeah,
right, that
prove
they
to
can
themselves,
compete.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Sometimes
let's take a
the-
look at Christina again,
Christina.
right?
Ah,
It's,
there we go.
yeah, and she's still pushing along. I think this is, in fact, the finishing straight.
Yep.
Of the finishing platform. You see the meters climb is 801, so she's very, very, very
Just
close.
about 19 meters left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a little
She's
bit
gonna
more.
bring it home
she's
and
gonna bring
then
it
that's
home.
it for her.
Yeah, so Christina in representing Matador Racing,
See?
right? Definitely one of the strong teams, and definitely a very strong rider here as well.
Very strong rider. For the HCAT, it's really one of the best ones already.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for having even such like 5 riders, we have actually a really good showing of like all the different, all the differences and all the strengths of each of the ladies that we have in the cycling scene. Like for as little as there is of them, they're all like really strong already. Yeah.
You see here, Christina's just digging deep.
Look at the
Right,
pain
just
face.
pushing through. She definitely wants to finish it off
Yeah.
so that her legs can take a good rest, right? But until then, right,
Just
just a
digging
little bit
so
more.
deep.
You see her cadence is just
Yeah.
going high. She's just rocking her body, just putting everything she has into her
Everything.
pedals, right? And that's how you know that she's just going on and on and on. Right, and I'm sure you can see a slight glimpse in the distance. There's the finishing gantry. Oh, the camera cut. That's all right. We'll see it soon, right? There you can see that there is just behind the tree line. There's the finishing gantry.
See the little red banner over there.
Yeah, and once she crosses that, she'll be done with her race as well, right?
Then
Really a
after that-
commendable effort, right?
Really great effort from her.
Yeah.
Then we have Christine. We have Janela. She's
Yeah,
still
Janela's
following
still
along.
about 10 minutes behind, right? So definitely still a bit of, still a little bit more climbing to go, but nonetheless, again, nothing to take away from her effort, right?
Yeah.
You see Christina just pushing through, right? Just about to finish it off, just about to,
Almost there.
yeah, just about to get there. Yeah, and there she is giving everything she has just to finish it off, and then you
That's
see
her in that
Janela
position,
next to
yeah.
her as well, and Preeti.
Pretty.
Also
now Pretty
just-
trying to. I
just
think
keep
Pretty
going.
like learned from Janela. Maybe she's trying to do the TT position as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we have Christina just about to cross the line. You see all the banners, right? And let's see what her time is.
There
As
we
she
go.
crosses the line. Did she improve? Oh, I think her previous climb up, her previous round up the climb was her better
Slightly-
time,
Yeah.
right? So, nonetheless, still an amazing effort right there, right? Okay, so we have Janela and Preeti still left in the race, right? Janela just slightly past halfway up the
Past
climb.
halfway up the climb, yeah.
Yeah. You can see that she's starting to struggle a little bit, right?
Just a little
Oh.
bit. Oh,
What's happened?
is it a technical issue or?
Oh, she's going. Alright, maybe she just needed. Yeah. Oh, she's still pushing on, still using everything she has, right? Pushing down on the pedals.
Yeah. So we have Christina. Oh man, she's really pushing down the watts. Like she's really using all of the body weight
Yeah,
just to
you
get
can-
up this climb. I mean, she's really close already. So yeah,
Yeah, you
everything in the tank just goes out.
Yeah, and that, I guess that just shows, right, how challenging, how difficult, virtual cycling can be,
Yeah.
right? Even it's comparable, if not maybe sometimes even more challenging than
yeah.
road riding. In fact, some people say that riding on a trainer is a lot
It's
more
a lot
difficult.
more mentally taxing for
Yeah,
everyone.
and because the bike is static, it doesn't
Yeah.
move. You don't really have that kind of
Yeah.
leverage that you have,
Exactly.
swinging the bike. I'm sure if you watch the pros, you see how they move the bike, they're literally dancing on
Yeah.
it. But here, the bike is static, you can't move it.
Yeah.
You just have to move your body. Just
and your
to
eyes don't really
get it.
see motion as much, so you don't feel like you're going.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like really a different mental game for.
Yeah, and it
for
can
people,
kind of
yeah.
messes with you as well,
Exactly,
right? Because
yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
how fast am I really going?
Yeah.
You feel like giving full effort,
Yeah.
and
You
next
have,
thing you
like,
know, you
zero
realize you
perception.
just moved a little bit
Yeah,
only. Right, or it could be
exactly.
the other way where you feel like taking it easy and you look up and you see your speed is like 40.
Yeah, 40.
Like, whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, but we have Janela still pushing through. We have Preeti just about another 10, almost 9
Almost
minutes
9
40
minutes.
behind.
Yeah.
Right, still pushing through. Definitely also doing her best. So give us a moment while we are still getting our cameras in position. Right, and we'll give you a
And
look
then
on the
we'll see
inside.
again. Ah, there we go.
There we go. You see
Janela
Janela.
again. Ooh, she's really pushing everything she's got. Everything in the tank. Then we have Pretty adopting the I thought she was in the TT position, but no, she's doing that puppy paws thing. Yeah, she's just sitting in, head down, legs just turning and turning.
Yeah, I guess that's where you really see that they're just digging deep, right?
Yeah.
Just pushing with whatever they have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So slow and steady is still progress,
Yeah.
right? Might not be as fast as what you hope for or what you want, but nonetheless, right?
Still a really
still
strong
commendable
effort.
effort,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And you see Janela pushing it. You see her heart rate is going at high 140s. I think that's the highest
Yeah.
we've seen from
Yeah.
her actually. So she's really
really
digging
pushing
deep
him
and
now.
pushing hard now. Right, I think just a little bit more to go.
I mean, once you see the houses, it's really close already.
Yeah.
So actually, the gap between Janela and Preeti didn't really increase that much. It's been about 10 minutes from the
Yeah,
get-go.
about 9 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You can see it leveling off just a little bit for Janela before I think she hits another steeper section. Right, so she can try to build up a little bit of speed, build up power a little bit, right, rest the legs, and then now as she hits the ramps again, 5-6%,
Yeah.
you can see the gradient number there. Right. Yeah, and there's a look inside the room. You can see, right, the three competitors, Clara, Doreen, and Christina, who's finished their race already, just having an easy spin down.
Spin down.
Right, just trying to recover a little.
Yeah.
Maybe we might even be able to get them to come and
maybe
give some
do
thoughts
the
later,
interview,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, we'll still give them a bit of time. And you see Janela and Preeti still pushing through on the pedals, still giving it their all.
Janela
Right?
standing up again. This is
Yeah.
like her go-to when things get tough. Just stand up.
Yeah. Maybe taking a cue from
Yeah.
Clara as well.
Yeah.
Right. So she's doing about. You can see her just laser focus, pushing on.
Yeah.
Right, nothing
Just
to
focus on
distract her.
just focus on the road at all.
Yeah,
Like
just
that.
slightly over 100 more meters of climbing.
She's almost done there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's to say 5.4% on average over 7.5, almost 7.5 kilometers.
Yeah.
Not easy,
I mean,
right?
it's quite deceptive as well. Yeah, you see 5.4%. Oh, 5%.
Then
But
you realize that that's the
there's
average.
parts average, right?
Yeah.
And there's like parts where it gets 12%. Like, oh,
You're like, oh no.
oh no.
Yeah.
Then can we see Pretty again?
Yeah, still quietly soldiering on, right, on her own. Right, and you see actually her power output
Yeah,
may not be very
she's
high, just
high.
hovering about one and a half watts per
Yeah.
kilo, but nonetheless,
It gets the work
right,
done,
that
right?
it gets the
Job
work done,
yeah.
and it's been pretty steady. So actually her
Yeah.
pacing, right,
It's good.
sure she may not be as strong as the other competitors, but
Yeah.
she's definitely got the pacing down. It's,
Yeah.
you know, she's keeping it steady,
Yeah.
you know, and her resilience as well. She's
Exactly.
not giving up.
She's
She's not
mentally
letting it
strong.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just running her own race and just, you know, keeping things going.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing to lose. It's just all the gain for her.
Yeah.
I mean, all of them that join the race, everyone that joins the race.
Definitely,
Really nothing to
definitely.
lose, yeah.
Yeah.
Can we get a cam on Pretty? Miss Pretty?
Mm.
Ah, there we go.
So here we see she's just pushing through as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Just head down, TD position.
Yeah.
Just like Christina. Oh, no, just like Janela. Yeah, it's
But I guess
adopting her
that's the beautiful thing about indoor cycling, right?
Yeah.
If you're tired, you know, you can
You
just
can just ease up.
head down. You don't have to
Yeah.
like watch out for cars, watch out for the
No.
road, watch
Yeah,
out
imagine
for
doing
potholes.
this in this
Oh,
position
man.
and then there's
I mean,
cars.
yes, you could do it for the time trial, like if you really, but you still require that focus. Whereas in this case, you know, you can just switch off and just
Yeah.
make sure that your legs keep going.
Yeah.
Channel all your energy into
Exactly.
just moving those legs,
Yeah.
right?
So like actually virtual cycling can kind of actually make you even a bit more stronger, right?
Yeah.
Mentally and physically, because you're kind of you're able to push past
Yeah.
your physical limits and mental boundaries.
Yeah, and not to mention that, you know, maybe out on the road you have things like lights, sometimes you're coasting and all that. But indoor cycling, it's just you and the pedals, you're just turning it the whole time, there's no break.
Exactly.
Right, and I guess I've heard some people say, right, that you know, time on the trainer, time on indoor bikes, it's basically like almost double the for the same time you're doing almost double the effort as you're doing outdoors as well. You know, and as much as you're indoor, you're fair, you have aircon, you're still dealing with the heat. You don't have that wind to like kind of help you physically as well. Right.
So for me, when I do like maybe indoor cycling, right, my mentality is like the stationary bike is an immovable object and I'm an unstoppable force. So that's what keeps you get going, right? So maybe in most of us, like when we do indoor cycling, we have this like subconsciously built in already, like I'm not gonna stop until I finish, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I guess that is the mentality to take here, right? I mean, no matter where you are positioned in the race, the fact is that you just keep going, just push on until you see the finish line.
It doesn't even matter where you are in the climb right now. So you just, as long as you finish it, that's the main goal actually.
So here you see Jenna from Matador and West Coast Riders still pushing through, right? You can see the elevation gain is 738, right? She's definitely getting close now, 739, right? It's just over an hour, almost an hour, 20 minutes of effort, right? Non-stop effort, I might add, right? I mean, okay, there's still the descent, but that nonetheless, right? That still only gives them a short recovery before that second climb. Yeah. So as we look for these two last competitors these remaining two competitors to cross the line, you know, we're still seeing how it's still a show, a display of their resilience, their strength, right? To push through. Right, and here we see the camera just slowly showing the venue, right? So shout out to Virtual Cycling Singapore, right? Virtual Cycling SG.
Thank you.
Who are the venue hosts, right, within Ascend Fitness here at the YMCA as well. You know, and I'm sure that you guys have time slots that are open for people
actually,
to book,
thanks
right?
for mentioning that. Yeah, so we do have our website up, but unfortunately due to the Microsoft thing, it's down right now. But if you guys want to book a session with us, you can always hit us up on Instagram to like maybe book a session and try out the bikes, and then you can do we can do maybe from like training sessions, or you can actually just come down and use the bike on your own if you wanted to. So you can actually just definitely book a time slot with us, and then we'll figure things out with you, and then we'll see what we can do for you as well.
Yeah, and I guess this is organized in collaboration with the Singapore Cycling Federation as well, right? After all, this is a national championship, right? Even we're looking at different categories, but we're still looking, I think after all the different rounds, when they tally up all the points, we're looking to crown in fact the inaugural national champion, right? So we will have one for the men, one for the ladies as well, and I'm sure there'll be champions for all the different categories as well, right? Similar to, I guess, just a few weeks ago or just a month ago, we had the road race. Yeah, and you had all the different categories from elite, masters, under 23, juniors, and youth as well, right? So so even though everyone is here doing the same thing, cycling, right? Nonetheless, there are still stakes to this, right? Not that there's anything to lose, but rather there's so much to gain, right? Everything to gain.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess this is where we're also, I guess you can sneak in a sneaky promotion, right? For upcoming remaining categories.
There's two more left.
Time trial, and there's also...
The last one is, we're not sure yet, so it's probably a mystery for y'all for now. So yeah, do keep a lookout on our socials. So please follow Virtual Cycling SG. On Instagram.
Virtual Cycling SG, and then there's also Singapore Cycling Federation as well. Right? So... yeah, thanks, big props to them for getting all this up and running. I think it was only established this year.
Yeah, this year only.
Yeah.
So it's only been a few months actually.
Yeah, and it's quite a well-run operation. You see all the bikes, you see the fact that they can bring this live stream to you as well. Right?
Then every few races we have, right, we're always seeing increasing numbers. So we started with about 40 participants, then we got 50 the next, and then now we have 70 riders. So we're kind of seeing this trend of like, maybe we might hit even 100. But then
make it happen, guys.
Yeah, we can happen definitely. But then we'll all go home at like 9 p.m. But we'll still do that. Like I think we are that committed to actually like developing the whole community So maybe just keep on registering, and maybe we have like maybe 1,000 riders. Who knows? So we have like a week-long race. Yeah, but that'd be pretty insane.
And I guess that's why it's interesting that to see them split into different categories, right? And you see like this race was a mixed category of the elite, the seed, masters and senior, right? Because I guess they're all split into different heats, right? And the different heats, that's where different categories can be lumped together. Yes, you might be racing together on the same map in the same world, but you're riding your own different race, right? And I think just now we kind of mentioned it, like Clara and Doreen were racing the elite, right? But I think for Janella and for Christina, they're actually riding their own separate race, right? In their own category. Right, nonetheless, because you're in the same race, you're still in the same heat. Things like drafting things like pack dynamics and all that, it still works, right? And it still applies. Yeah, of course, sometimes when you have enough competitors, then you have one heat exclusively to that category. Yeah, and I think that's what we saw yesterday, right? It was like the elite, the youth, the juniors as well. Or I think this morning also some of the races.
This morning as well, This morning was just the Singapore Sports School, but then because most of them are like equally as athletic as each other, right? It made it very interesting as well.
Yeah, and that's why you also see like cross category. Some of the competitors really do, they really give each other a run for the money. So you can see two competitors fighting tooth and nail, and then you realize that hey, they're both winning their own category.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and I think we saw that in previous iterations of the race as well, right?
There were cases like that.
Yeah. Where you see someone wins on the road, but the second place guy also wins his category.
Yeah.
So I guess there's always that kind of honor to fight
it's
for.
It's exactly the same as like what happened in the national road race, where they were all mixed up together, right?
Yeah.
And some of them like got this mentality where I crossed the finish line first, but then in actuality they weren't the first one. There's actually someone else ahead of them in their category. So
So here we're still looking at Janella, still soldiering on, pushing through.
I mean, she's gonna finish
really
soon.
Yeah, I think in fact this might be the finishing stretch, right? Just past a few more houses, around that slight left bend, and we should be able to see the finishing line soon. I think just behind the tree line. And you see her just pushing on, pushing through, right? Here we have her on camera just digging deep just for that finishing stretch, right? Head down, everything into it, just trying to pump out the watts just to finish off, right? Her legs probably screaming for her to stop. In these kind of situations, you're just pushing hard. And
her pain face is just showing now.
You're just wondering when is it gonna end?
Yeah, when is it
right?
gonna end?
Soon. It will end soon.
And this is like probably the longest, mentally, right? This feels like the longest the race has ever been for them.
Yeah,
like that 10 seconds feels like an hour for some reason.
Yeah, you just feel like you're pedaling and only 10 seconds have passed. Right, you can see just at the corner, just behind the tree line, right? You can see, in fact, in the corner of the map, just at the top, you can also see that's where the finishing gantry is, right? Just hidden slightly behind the trees, you can see that bright orange semicircle, the gate right there. That's where she just needs to get through, and then she'll be done with her race as well. Yeah, so 1 hour 25, right? Just a little bit more, you can see her just pushing through. Her heart rate is going as high as she can.
I think she's gonna reach a 150. We haven't seen that in the whole race, so this is like
she's pushing. She's definitely maxing herself out. 235 watts, 280 watts, right?
Everything out of the gas tank
just
now.
Pushing. Yeah, you can tell she's just fighting the fatigue, just doing everything she can.
Whatever she can push out, she's just pushing out.
Yeah.
Not letting out.
Just ahead of her, right there. Right, 200 meters to the end. Right, you can see the in-game sign right there. 200 meters.
200 meters.
Right, and normally if you look at the World Tour pros, this is where they start getting ready to sprint. About 150, 100 meters, and then you see them all just go. So 300 plus watts. Right, she's definitely just gunning it just across the line.
Oh, can we cut to the camera after this?
Soon, and she goes across the line, and that's where she can finally relax
take
a little.
rest.
Right.
And we'll see how she's feeling after this. Yeah, I can totally see how
she's totally spent.
everything.
Right, but that also means that she put in everything she had into it.
She didn't leave anything out in the field.
Yeah, nothing left.
Yeah, nothing left. Good job, Janela.
So good job to
Now
her.
we
good
have
job.
Pretty left.
Right, and we have Pretty. Oh, she stopped. Yeah.
Oh, Pretty stop?
Yeah.
Oh, she's still riding, right?
Let's
Oh,
see
did her
what's
thing
going
disconnect?
on. Yeah. Oh, I think. Yeah. I think maybe that's where her being the final rider in the final rider in the group, her position is locked in.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe in this case, that's where they might have asked her to stop. Yeah. But nonetheless, still an amazing effort. Still pushing through, managing to finish the climb. I think 1.5 times, right? Right. Yep. And so that's where we've finished the race, and I guess we can do a quick recap of the results.
Yeah.
If we have,
So we have.
I'm not sure whether we can bring it on screen or if there's anything to show.
We do still remember Doreen came in second.
Yeah,
then
Clara,
we have Clara,
Clara finished first, followed by
then we have
Doreen.
Christina, right?
Yeah, and then Christina, and then Janela, and finally Preeti.
Yeah.
Right. So
So good job to everyone.
mad props to all 5 of them for racing. Right, and maybe we can see if we can get any of them for
Maybe
an
Doreen and
interview.
Clara.
Yeah. So let's hold on to see what we are doing with the stream. Okay, you can show the name list again. Yeah. So I guess just to refresh all our memories, these are the competitors that we had. Right, Clara from Garcia Test Team.
Yep.
Right, who came in really strong and in fact improved her
Yeah.
time on the second climb.
Yeah.
Right,
Share
and then we have
everything.
Doreen, who gave her all effort trying to chase, right, from CTCC, right, cycling training, and she I think she finished second.
Yeah, second.
Right, Christina and Janela, both from Matador, right, both also definitely gave all that they had, and finally Preeti, who actually doesn't have a team,
Yeah.
right,
She
so
doesn't have a team yet,
definitely,
so yeah.
mad props to her. You know, I think compared to the other riders who all have experience, or you know, because they're all in different teams, you know, that's where they have that platform to leverage as well. So, interview?
Yeah, cut already.
So, is it cut?
Because now I think we're not doing these.
Right, and just before we end off this live stream, alright, we want to thank everyone for joining us for this heat. Alright, so once again, I'm Ryan and
Mitch. So
and thanks for joining us for this round.
Yeah, thanks again. So we'll see you in the next heat again. So that's the men's open. So we'll see
Right.
a bunch more heavy hitters in that one. So it's a bit
Yeah.
more of a, gonna be a bit more competitive, but nonetheless,
Maybe
the
a little
whole
bit more
race-
spicy, and
yeah,
we'll
a little
see.
bit more spicy. Yeah.
Alright, so hope to see you soon.
I'm Ijun. With a rich background in management consulting and business development, I'm spearheading our mission at Virtual Cycling SG to make Singapore a front-runner in esports cycling by 2029, leading the transformation of cycling with strategic partnerships and innovative technology. Our vision is to elevate this sport to global competition levels, creating a thrilling and unifying experience for athletes and fans alike.
I'm Doreen. At Virtual Cycling SG, my role is to leverage my expertise in exercise science and my experience at the Singapore Sport Institute to integrate esports cycling into schools as a co-curricular activity. This initiative will engage more young people, equipping them with the skill for future competitions and a lifelong appreciation for cycling and fitness.
I'm Darren. As a national cyclist and a graduate in sports science from NTU, I know the transformative power of cycling. At Virtual Cycling SG, we are dedicated to create a sustainable model for esports cycling that's not just accessible, but designed to last and flourish. By 2029, we aim to see Singapore excel in esports cycling, supported by a robust community platform that fosters growth and passion.
We are Virtual Cycling SG.